no introductions needed, the Jaguar E-Type. This one's just come in for some service work. We look after quite a few of these for clients that have got them in their collections. Anyone who's a petrol head and have got a few cars usually find there's an E-Type involved, or they've had one or enjoyed one at some stage. What's to say about them? Iconic cars. Came out in about 61, I think, went through to the sort of mid-70s. Really nice. Jaguar were doing really well in racing. They'd done Le Mans and everything with the D-types. So along came the E-Type. Now, you're quite advanced for the 60s. You've got independent suspension, you've got disc brakes, independent suspension front and rear, which in some cases, no, Ferraris didn't get on until later on in the 60s. Well known that Enzo Ferrari loved it. It is one of the most beautiful cars ever built. Very imposing when you sit inside and drive them. It's a beautiful long bonnet, so styling was really good. Also said a lot of stuff in history. I mean, it's well known that there's one of the first cars to do 150 on the road. Everyone knows about Norman Jewis and his antics herring up and down the M1. No, fantastic history. He drove one down, I think it was Geneva Motor Show, when it needed to be there, and he drove through the night to get there. So there's loads and loads of stories on the E-Type that is really good and nostalgic. Came out in like 3 different models. You had the Series 1, which I think was 3.8 and 4.2 engines, right through to the Series 3, where they shoehorned a V12 into it. So there's quite a lot to choose from. They made about 70,000, I think, of these things all in all. Obviously, there's the sort of specifics within the range. You've got the low drag ones, the alloy bodied ones, the ones that were raced, the really special ones that were very successful in racing. But when you look at them, what's available today, there's ones that have been tuned, there's ones that have had sort of resto mods, got different brakes, they've been upgraded, they've got fuel injection. There's all sorts of different models, because there's sort of 70-odd thousand to choose from. People aren't afraid to sort of change these slightly. I mean, the guys down at Eagle do a spectacular job. No, their ones are really spectacular cars. So you have a choice. If you want to get into an E-Type today, there's choices out there. You can go totally original, matching numbers, heritage certificate, not touched, through to one that's been really tweaked and modernised and is more comfortable in today's environment. I'm sure electric ones are going to be coming along soon as well. I think there was one for one of the royal weddings. So there's all sorts of things you can do with these things, but it's the shape that people love. They're just such an iconic shape. I mean, right down, I love the 3 wipers and things like this. Covered headlights, there's something about 60s classic cars. Covered headlights. This one's got some D-type wheels on it, so they're slightly different wheels. Obviously, you can get two major body forms in these. You've either got the hard top or the soft top, basically. So, a reasonable amount of luggage space in the back. This one's got some luggage in it as well. So, no, you could go and use these things. You could actually, go out touring in them, use them. They went quite fast. They work, so you could actually put some case in the back. Some of the cars have got very small boots, are quite limited, but this is a usable car. One of the things, talking about the engines on these, the thing with the E-Types, it's an enormous bonnet. When you sit inside, it's huge. When you open it, it's enormous. One of the things when you ever do restorations or work on these things, if you ever take the whole front off, it's a bit of a nightmare to get it all lined up again, because it's a big panel. It's a bit like Ferrari boxes and things like that. It's half the car that lifts up. So here we've got this is a 4.2, this one, 4.2, just normal car, 3 SU carbs. This was all technology of the 60s. The SUs were used on all sorts of cars. All the Minis had them, Cooper S's had them, Healeys had them. Obviously, they look really cool that you get a nice set of Webers on there. You can do side draft Webers, and they're really nice. But again, like I said, there's lots of tweaks and things you can do to these things. Something else that's coming up this year is it's the 60th anniversary, I think, of E-Types this year. So there's going to be a lot of celebrations for E-Types. So you're going to see E-Types everywhere this year. I think most of the concourse events are doing classes for E-Types. There's going to be a lot of E-Type stuff going on this year. So everyone's going to be talking about them. So it's quite poignant that this one's just come in for some work, and it's here for us to share with you. It was one of those cars that really caught the country's imagination, and everybody loved. So, and I must admit, I do like them. I love going out to them. No, they always make you smile. You get out of an E-Type and you think, yeah, that was a good run. They're nice places to be, and it's sort of nostalgic to go back to the 60s and enjoy these cars. So let's go out in this one and give it a run and see if we can smile again. Oh. So here we are squeezing in. One of the things they changed on the E-Types, on the early ones, without getting too geeky, was the flat floor ones. The really early cars were flat floored. This one's got the lower floor, so it just means you've got a bit more foot room and feet to get around the pedals and what have you, which is obviously why they did it. So this is quite a nice one to actually live with. This has also got Series 2 seats. The Series 1 seats were quite small with limited movement, so the owners put Series 2 seats in this, so it's got reclining buttons and they're a bit more comfortable. So again, all these cars have got different tweaks and things as owners want them. You've got the classic 4-gauge dashboard that Jaguar used through a lot of their saloon cars. All the E-Types, it was a sort of common centerpiece and really nostalgic to look at. Nice clear gauges, nice wooden steering wheel, which again, very classic car, very 60s and 70s, so really nice. Let's fire it up. So again, love a push button start, it's really nice, and again, Jaguar did this. It's just a nice thing to do. So there's something about pushing a button and a car bursting into life. So we've got, remember these things called chokes. This is what we had to do to start cars back in the 60s before computers decided what fueling were needed. So the days of sort of balancing the choke and coughing and spluttering for a while, it's all part of the nostalgic drive. Okay, so here we are just pulling out onto the road, still nursing a bit of choke and a bit of cold start. This is all part of the fun. Old car stuff, working chokes and things. This is what the electric cars aren't going to give you. It's going to be really boring compared with these. So there we go. The other thing that's nice on this, it's still got the 4-speed Moss box in it. Now, I love the Moss boxes. There's a certain amount of nostalgia. I've spoken about this before in Jaguars. You get like a sing and a whine from an early Moss box. They do get upgraded to 5-speed boxes, but it's something nice. Call me old-fashioned. I'm coughing and spluttering a bit still. Oh, here we go. And straight away you can start to feel the torque of the engine just as it's clearing. They just waft along really nicely. I love these types. I think they're really nice. You've got that fantastic view down the bonnet. I mean, having driven lots of cars, you've got the Muras and the Boxers. There's lots of cars with big bonnets, but this is a huge bonnet. This is well known for the view down the bonnet. Talking about technology, so we've got a car here that's got disc brakes, we've got independent suspension, so they actually drive really well for the 60s. This was quite advanced stuff. I mean, having disc brakes, we'd only just come out of drum brakes, which are a bit of a gamble. So actually, this as a package, these are really good, and the fact they're still a nice package and very drivable today, it gives testament to how good they were in the first place. This one's still just coughing and spluttering at me. I don't think it's been driven for a while, this one, but you can just hear suddenly it goes all smooth and quiet. You're off. I mean, not fantastically quick by today's standards, but back in the 60s this would have been a seriously quick car. And I think one of the things that works on these, we haven't done a road test on one of the super quick modern cars. They are so fast today that the new flappy paddle, lights on the steering wheel Ferraris and things, they are just astronomically fast. That you can't really drive them and enjoy them. You're only ever driving around in a sort of 25% of the car, whereas something like this, you're using more of the car. You put your foot down, you're not breaking the speed limit in half a second. You actually sort of get to enjoy it more. The speed of the car is proportional to the sort of world we live in, I suppose, is what I'm saying. That you can actually use this, you can put your foot down in this and it pulls really nicely, that's feeling really good, and we're still not breaking the speed limit. So it's actually an enjoyable place to be, and you can enjoy the car. Whereas the new ones, as soon as you hit the accelerator, you're off on like the Starship Enterprise, and you're already slowing down again. So I think there's a real engagement with the older cars, which is just brilliant. you're not thinking, oh my goodness, no, hanging on for dear life. This is a fast car of its day that's still really nice to drive today. There's enough power there, you can see as you squeeze the accelerator, the front just lifts up and it just feels nice. So there you have it, the E-Type. I love these cars, I think they're really cool. I think the other thing to look at on this is when you look at the classic car market, this is the epitome of this era of car, whether we're out in the Ferrari Dinos, the 4Cams, the whole nostalgia of these older cars. And I think with the looming stuff of all these electric cars coming on, we've got to protect this. This is I mean, I've been out in this car for 10 minutes. And it's making me smile. We've got to protect our heritage on these cars. You've only got to look at the size of events like Goodwood and stuff. There's a huge following for these cars. And the fact that there's a variety of, we took this as an individual model. You can race it, you can have very expensive, historically significant cars. You can buy a car like this that's just, okay car, you can drive around in it. You're not going to use it every day. I think the average, before all the eco guys keep going and going, well, okay, it's old and smelly. Well, average usage of these cars is between sort of 500 and 1,000 miles a year if you're lucky, so they don't go out very often, so that sort of squashes that argument really. But I think for nostalgia and preserving our heritage, this is the definitive classic car of this era.